Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for being here with us. Can you guys give yourselves a round of applause for being here? We are going to get started. Thank you for sticking with us. Welcome first to Lincoln Hospital. This is New York City's busiest trauma center in the city of New York, where most of all the gunshots, assaults, and stabbings that happen in our city happen here. And not just is that, but we also have some of the best medically trained professionals that help patch up individuals that are shot, assaulted, or stabbed. So can you give the Lincoln Hospital staff a round of applause? The reason why we are all gathered here today is first, today is Guns Down Life Up Day here in the city of New York. Last year, on this day, which was a Friday last year, but last year the mayor and the public advocate, Nick Smith, the deputy public advocate, came and they declared that in the city of New York that July 22nd will be known as Guns Down Life Up Day. And why is that so significant? It's significant because it shows that gun violence is not going anywhere anytime soon. But not just is gun violence not going anywhere, it is also going to take the work of individuals that work in Guns Down Life Up. Moms Demand Action, thank you for being here. We have some other sites that are on their way. You know, there were so many different events today. There's just so much going on. It's been a busy morning for us, not just here, but all across the city. So if you see people come in and out, that is because there's just so much going on today. But I want to thank you all for being here and on time. We have a lineup of panels and panelists that are going to be speaking this afternoon. But before we begin, we're going to have our keynote and opening address by the Deputy Public Advocate of the City of New York, Mr. Nick Smith. Can we give him a hand?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. All right, this is our celebrations. But once again, give this brother a round of applause. I came here last year. It was amazing that all the work he and of course the whole team was doing. My name is Nick Smith. I represent our city's public advocate, Jamali Williams. Blessed to be back here to see all of you. I'll take just a couple of minutes just to look back briefly on where we've been and where we're going. So back in 2012, a bunch of our council members, including Jamali and the speaker, got together in a room and said, we've got to do something about gun violence across this city that affects mostly black and brown communities. And so what they did was they looked at a couple of cities across the country, Chicago and Boston, pure violence, and they thought, all right, let's bring some of their best practices to New York City and created what is called the crisis management system, of which, of course, Guns Down Life Up is a member. That was a $5 million project, including the 48th precinct in the Bronx. Well, if you look about 11 years later, you all have had just tremendous success in reducing gun violence. Put your hands together for the work that you are doing. And just a while ago, I saw the president of this nation, Joe Biden, governor, and of course the mayor and the previous mayor, support you directly. In fact, the president was here about a month ago and visited the site and said, and I'm paraphrasing, don't quote me, I don't want to get in trouble, but he basically said, you all are really the vanguards of reducing gun violence and preventing retaliation. And that's the truth. There are programs across the city where there have been 0 shootings in a calendar year. That is an amazing success. And so it isn't just law enforcement, it is you, Guns Down, Life Up, and others across the city helping to strengthen our communities. So looking forward, whatever we can do to support you, let us know. We have elected officials here, you have advocates here. We'll do what we got to do to support you. I got to say one other thing, which is we gave a proclamation last year, as was said, to declare today Guns Down Life Up Day. I also brought some other documents, so I'm going to ask all the staff of Guns Down Life Up to come up briefly if you can. So James, Maria, all you all come up real quick. We got something for you. And my team as well. Kim and Travis, come on up. Okay. I see Maria. Okay. And why don't we give the staff of Guns Down Life Up some love. Every time I come here, I realize, they really do put their lives on the line every day and prevent retaliations. I see some of the hospital responders, some of the current messengers, you all doing fantastic work. So as we're waiting, we'll so don't waste your time. So we have, hey, come on up. So I'm going to hand you a stack of proclamations. Before I hand it to you, I'm going to read it. The Public Advocate for the City of New York Award comes down life of staff in recognition of your commitment and dedication to the diverse communities in New York City. Signed, Public Advocate Jemima Williams. Again, on behalf of our team, we thank you all for your work. I'm going to hand you the stack. If I can hear you one by one, I'll get in trouble. So give them a hand, guys.
I'm sorry, I'm not a good one. Thank you for recognizing. Thank you for.
Give a hand, guys.
Okay, can we give the Deputy Public Advocate one more hand? We have a few more elected officials that are going to come and speak. I would like to call up our Assembly member, Chantel Jackson. Let's give her a hand.
Thank you, Christian. All right, so, hi everybody. Happy Saturday. So, I'm always happy to be here with my Guns Down Life Up family, my SOS family, my Bragg family, you know, all the RTGs. I'm always happy to be around you all because you guys are doing great work in the community. It's tough because my job, right, my job is to balance the budget with my colleagues and to pass legislation for my constituents and for the state of New York. But the part of the job that's probably the hardest is having to deal with the gun violence that we're working on every single day. The New York City Department of Police, the police department, sends us a report of every shooting that happens, every stabbing that happens, every fire that happens, every missing person that happens. And when I tell you, it's so, at some point, you're like, what am I supposed to do? What else can I possibly do? We feel really lost, right? And I know everyone's saying, like, you know, the elected officials, you got to do something. I would love to do any and everything. So there's something, if we can come up with plans, if we can come up with things to do together, I'm always willing and able to work on those things. What I have done in the past, though, is that I noticed that when young people, because it's usually our young people that's committing these crimes, right? When young people don't have anything to do, they find themselves in trouble. I know because I was a young person who had nothing to do, found myself in trouble. So what I do is I make sure we have jobs for young people. I make sure we have services. I open up the classic center, which is in my neighborhood, make sure that they have things that work, you know, things that keep them busy. And so I think it's important that we continue to do those things, but also build with you all. I don't want there to be a wall where you see I'm just your elected officials and I come and talk to you at the events like this. But use us, right? We're all on social media. We all have emails. We all have phone numbers. We all have offices. Use us. If you find that there's something wrong in your neighborhood and you thought of things that could work, that could be different, then please reach out to us. And I'm more than happy to meet with people, especially young people. I allow young people to shadow me for days so they can see what I do on a consistent basis, the calls that I take, the Zooms that I'm in. And with my son, I do it. So if you all are interested and have great ideas about keeping our community safe, please reach out to my office. I want to say thank you to Christian. I want to thank Maria, James, everybody who's a part of Guns Down Life Up for continuously supporting the community, but also supporting the victims and people who have been shot, and reach out to families and keeping that connection going. You know, we just had the celebration of Brandon Hendricks, who died, he graduated from high school on a Friday, died on a Sunday. And so, we continuously lift him up, lift his mom up, and lift up the community that supported him all those years as a basketball player. So I want to say thank you to you all for having these conversations. Please reach out to my office. I'm your Assembly Member Chantel Jackson.
Thank you, Assemblymember Jackson. Now we're going to hear from two other elected officials that are here, and then we are going to begin some panel discussion. So our first elected official that we're going to hear from is Councilmember Althea Stevens, and then following her will be State Senator Louis Sepulveda.
Good afternoon. How you guys feeling today? I'm really excited to be here. One of the reasons I am the city council member for the 16th district, and that is the West Bronx. But one of the other beautiful things that I also get to do is I'm the youth services chair for youth services, and which means I have oversight of the UICD. And that is important because CMS has joined our home, and I'm excited. There was a lot of people who was like, I don't know about this, if this makes sense or if this is a good move. But the reality is, I'm excited about it because I'm excited about the possibility. Because the reality is, all of those programs that we talk about, when we talk about like after school, when we're talking about like the different interventions and pushing into schools, that's the work that you guys have already been doing. And so this leaves us an opportunity for us to make sure that all the work that we're doing is all connected. And so before I became city council member, I was in youth development for 20 years. And so I have been working very closely with our commissioner, Keith Howard, and his deputy commissioners to really think about how do we reimagine and make sure that you guys are getting the supports that you need, right? CMS, you guys are the first line of defense. You have been out here in these streets doing the work, talking to parents, preventing shootings, preventing deaths, and doing the real interventions. But how does that look now when we have the additional support that comes with DYCDs? What does it look like when you have access to the community centers? What does it look like when you have access to the things that you didn't have access to before? So like I said, I'm really excited that this transition has happened. See me as a partner in this work because I got into this role because young people told me they did not feel heard, they did not feel seen, and they did not feel part of government. And honestly, there's a lot of adults who feel the same way. And some of that is because we've been so disconnected. We don't go to the places where you guys are. We expect you to come to where we are. But I'm that member who you know, I'm on the block. And that's just what it is, because that's where the people are. And so it's important for us to go where you are and meet you where you're at and not try to make you come to where we are. So this is really exciting for me. Like I said, it's been great for us to come together to really reimagine it and continue to give you the resources that you need, to give you the support, and to really figure out all the things that you need. And all you young people, understand, often you hear as you guys are the future. I want to be clear, you are the now. I hate when I hear like, oh, you're the future. You guys are here now. You guys are present. And let's be clear, every movement across the United States has been led by young people. Every movement, the civil rights movement, the Black Panthers, all of those are young people. And our job as adults and leaders in this community is to give you the support and tools that you need in order to get you across the finish line. And so that's what you need to see me as, a resource to get you across the finish line. I know our assembly member just said, reach out to her office, reach out to my office. You can hit me up on social media. I am that member who I'm talking back to them and saying, hey, what do you need? How do I help? How do we support? But I need you guys to understand, you are already changing the narrative around so many things. You know, even when we're thinking about mental health, young people are leading that conversation. Young people are saying, I have anxiety, I feel depressed. Like, you have language that was stigmatized when we were younger. So please understand your power, understand your purpose, and you are not the future, you are the now. And when you step into any room, feel empowered to say what you need to be changed and how you think it should be done. Because the reality is you have the answers, not us. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Althea Stevens. Now we will hear from our State Senator Louis Sepulveda.
Good afternoon. Thank you, everyone. James, thank you for pronouncing my name properly. So, this is important to our community because obviously gun violence is a big problem in the areas that people like myself represent. I represent the 32nd Senate District, which is probably the poorest senatorial district in the country. And if it's not number one, it's number two. The district has a lot of poverty. The district has issues with graduation rates, the issues with violence and crime. And so organizations like what you do, the work that you do, is that much more important to this community. My colleague and wonderful Assemblywoman, Chantel Jackson, indicated that we in government try to help the situation. And to be honest with you, we here in New York State lead the charge on the issue of gun safety, gun laws. But the problem that we face is that there's a Supreme Court in a case that was decided in October that is going to make it significantly more difficult for people not to face gun violence in the state. They're going to make it easier for people to get guns legally. And when that happens, it creates more gun violence. And unfortunately, it happens a lot in our communities. And so we have to double up our efforts to fight against people who represent states where they have the highest gun violence rates, the highest homicide rates. These individuals are the ones that oppose gun laws, gun safety laws. They are the ones in states like Florida, which I believe has the third highest homicide rate, and one of the highest rates of gun violence in the country. Their governor wants to make sure that it's easier for people to get guns and walk around with guns. It makes it harder on our society, makes it harder on our DAs, makes it harder on our police departments. And so the reason I tell you this is because I just want to make sure that you have no doubt the significant contribution that each and every one of you make with a program like the ones that we run. So please give yourselves an applause because you deserve it. We all have to do something. We all have to try to do more. My contribution is I come to these programs, I speak about some of the issues, and I put my money where my mouth is. We get funds through the state that we can contribute to any organization that we'd like in our communities. And I speak with my colleagues at Chantel and the councilwoman about where they think we should put the money. And when it comes to guns down, we're all in unison. And every year for the last couple of years, I have given money to this organization. And for my next funding cycle, we're going to contribute more money to the organization. They're accessible. They're great leaders. My staff, we work really hard every day for this community. I will give you my cell phone number. Just don't call me after 12 because I'm watching cartoons. 347-582-8173. I'll give it to you one more time. 347-582-8173. That is my personal cell number. If you need assistance, guidance, or any information, you know someone who's going to get evicted, someone who's lost a job, someone who has problems with Social Security, please give us a call. We have a wonderful staff that's very dedicated to this community, and we'd love to continue to work with all of you to make the Bronx the best place in the world to live. Thank you, Governor.
Thank you, Senator Sepulveda. So after we hear from our final speaker, we are going to have our survivors panel. So those that are going to be on that panel, we ask that you start preparing yourselves to be on that panel. I want to thank you all for allowing yourselves to be on that panel because this is going to be a really big panel discussion. And as you see, there are people trickling in. We have some other organizations that are coming in, which will be here soon. Today was a very busy day for all of us. They're coming from a steering meeting with the mayor and with the DYCD commissioner on this exact same topic. So while we're here meeting, all of the leaders in CMS are meeting downtown. So just bear with us. But now we have our final speaker, if I can have the mic for District Attorney. This speaker that we have today is a wonderful leader in our community and is a pillar in the Bronx, and we want to thank her for all the support that she always gives to us. So without further ado, I would like to acknowledge the Bronx District Attorney, Darcel Clark.
afternoon. Guns down, light up. What's up? Okay, I'm no stranger here. I was here the day that they decided that this program would run out of Lincoln Hospital, and I haven't left ever since. So thank you all for your work. James, and pushing all of you that do the work each and every day. Look, I'm the DA. You know what my job is. My job, number one, is public safety. How we do that depends on who the leadership is. But more importantly, it depends on who is in the community that's helping to get that work done. And as the district attorney, my primary goal and charge is public safety. I can't do it without partners like Guns Down, Life Up. You all know how important you are to me. Each and every day when something is happening and I know stuff is jumping off in the street and I'm afraid that there's going to be retaliation, because you see them coming in here in Lincoln Hospital, and you know that once somebody is shot or stabbed, there's going to be some problems afterwards. And you all are right here to talk to those survivors of that crime and sometimes to the survivors of the families who don't make it. But you're also there to get back out in the street to make sure that there's no retaliation. And we've had some of those incidents. And I've been able to call on you to say, hey, this happened. I'm afraid that something else is going to jump off. Can you help me? And guess what? You've been there. And as we wait to see if something happens, things don't happen. So there's got to be a connection there. I'm well aware of that. So in as much as I may never know how many times you are there to stop something from happening in the first place, I appreciate that you are there meeting the people where they are to stop them before they make that decision to do something that's going to change their life or even more, end their life. So that is how vital the work is that you do. 8 years ago when I became the DA, there were groups that the crisis management system and the cure violence group, that didn't want to meet with a DA. No, we can't do something with the DA, right? You remember that, right? No, we can't put you with the DA. We like him. Yeah, we can't let nobody know that we know him. But now you know how important it is to have this connection, to have this network. I need you and you need me, because you know what? When people do end up coming to see me, and you know what? People end up coming to see me, right? It's organizations like this that also can say to the DA, I know you got so-and-so, or you got this one, but let me tell you a little bit something about this young man or this young woman. Yeah, they picked up a gun. Yes, they got involved in this or got involved in that, but let me tell you what their story is. That's what this survivors panel is going to be about. To hear about how people end up coming into the criminal justice system or being victimized because of the criminal justice system. You need a DA that understands that. See, I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. It's not like I just sit on 161st Street and say, let me wait, things happen. I grew up in Soundview Projects. I'm on my way over there now because they have their family day. And I wouldn't miss them, because that's who made me who I am. And that's what helps me be informed as to who you are. When I look out in this audience and look in your faces, I see myself. And when you can see yourself in the work that you do, you know how important it is that you're going to make sure you do right by you, right? And I'm going to do right by you. So that's why I want you to know that. So it's important to have Guns Down, Lights Up. I see Moms Demand Action here. I know that Bragg and SOS and all the SUV and Release the Grip and all the groups that we have, TAG, all of you all are doing such incredible work. And I can't tell you how happy I am to have you as partners in this. You are saving lives. I know the data says that things are bad, and things are bad, but I think that they would be worse if you weren't here. It would be worse if you weren't here. And most importantly, we're losing a generation of our young people to this violence because people are making bad decisions. You don't have to make those decisions. There's hope out there. There's people that support you. And so many times they say, we need this for our young people, we need that for our young people. Like the councilwoman said, they want us to make all these decisions and no young people are in the room when the decisions are being made. Can't have that anymore. I don't believe that anymore. You are the solution. You are the solution. I don't know what you need most, unless you tell me. I'm going to use my voice and my power, and I got a lot of power, trust me. right? I had a lot of discretion. I can make a lot of decisions that change the lives of people in this county every day. But I need to know what the community needs so that I can get it to you, so your life could be better. I know what brings people into the criminal justice system: poverty and mental illness and drug use and violence and bad schools and not having enough resources. Tell me what you need. Let me get it to you so we can make things better. But I can't make those decisions unless you tell me. So that's why in April I had that youth summit, and many of you were there. And of course, I got the support from Guns Down Life Up and so many of you. And we had a number of young people that are interested in helping me formulate the policies and strategies that we need to bring about in this county in order to save the lives of young people. Esai, who's here now, he is leading the charge of our youth council right now. Make sure you reach out to him. We're building that up now. Carlos Torres is here. You all know him. Carlos is here all the time. This is the work that the DA is doing. And I want to make sure I continue this partnership with all of you because it's invaluable. I love each and every one of you. And I'm talking about the trigger puller. I'm talking about the guys or girls that hang out with them. I'm talking about the girls that's hiding the guns. I don't want to have to prosecute any of you. I want to put all our effort into prevention of the gun violence as opposed to the prosecution of the gun violence. I think we get more bang for our buck when we do it that way than the other way. But know this, that and as much as the prevention is there, and we're going to make those opportunities available for you, some people are just not going to take it. You all know it. And you stand in the gap. People say, why are you going to Guns Down Like that? Those kids out of there, they're already good. They're not going to get involved. They're the ones that are interested. You don't need to talk to them. You need to talk to the other ones. I said, no, these are the ambassadors that are going to get to the others. So that's why you're me in those places where I can't be, to warn them, to let them know that there's a better way. And I applaud you for the work that you've done so far and what you will continue to do. So that prevention is worth the investment. And my colleagues in government are all here able to help in that. Senator Sepulveda, Councilwoman, the Assemblywoman, the governors, Representative Fidel is here all the time. We'll put the money and the resources there. You just tell us where they need to go, which is going to make the difference. But those who don't listen, it's still a chance for them. They're going to come see me. And trust me, you rather do the prevention and stuff than to have to see me. But some of you going to have to come see me. You're going to make that bad decision. But I'm not going to give up on you even then. I'm going to make opportunities so that you still have a chance. I started that program with the Osborne Society and the Fortune Society for those first-time gun offenders, who I know there's reasons why folks are picking up these guns, and it's not all of them want to be shooters. It's not all of them are killers. They're afraid. People are picking up for self-protection. They've been traumatized. There's a number of reasons. I set up a 12-month program for those individuals to see who they are, how did they get here, what do they need so that they never make that mistake again. You're going to be held accountable for the mistake that you made picking up that gun, because that's still a crime. And the minimum is 3.5 years in state prison. I used to say, just send them all to jail. I don't do that anymore. I started this program so not every single one would. And after 12 months of therapy and job training and education and mental health, all of those things, 12 months of that programming, that felony that they plead guilty to is taken away. It's a misdemeanor. They get to go on with the rest of their lives. And eventually, hopefully, that misdemeanor will be removed. But you know what? They get a chance. We've already graduated 20 individuals of a pilot program. 3 of them, young men, became fathers during that time they were in that program. And now, instead of their families visiting them in state prison, they're at home raising their families. That's what this work is also about. And that's saving lives. And now, instead of being part of the gun violence problem, they become part of the solution. And each of you are part of that solution as well. So let's keep up the good work. Let's keep up the partnership. You all know I'm always here. When you all call, I am always here. You've marched with me in the street against anti-violence, our 5K, whatever we have. Guns Down Life Up is always there, and I appreciate you all so much. So I'm here no matter what. I ain't going nowhere. And as Reverend Lauren Russell from the 4-2 Precinct Council always say, I love you all, and you can't do anything about it. All right? God bless.
Thank you so much, District Attorney Clark. I want to thank all the elected officials that came. Thank you so much. I want to acknowledge Fidel before he leaves from the governor's office. He's our Bronx regional representative, so can you give him a hand? And as these elected officials trickle out, we have more coming in later. So stick with us. We have a lot more organizations and a lot more people that are coming. But those that are on our survivors panel, I'm going to ask that you will come up now. These are mothers, fathers, family members that have lost their loved ones. Can we please give them a round of applause for being here? So part of our program